So you may or may not have heard, but they are coming out with some new Everquest servers. So the one I'm going to focus on today is the Vaniki server, referring to it as the level locked, time locked progression server. And this one I'm actually pretty excited about. Now, I'm not sure, I'll get into it here, but I'm not sure the longevity of it, but I think it's going to be worth playing at the beginning. So they start off with clarifying, the schedule later on was a little bit too short, they thought, so they increased some of the 2 months into 3 months. But that doesn't take into effect for quite a little bit into the server. So we're not going to focus on that too much. Accelerated expansions and level locks up to 60. That's just clarifying. If you want to see the level lock time as it currently is, it's right here. I'll just go over the start. So it's going to open at level 40 with Gates of Discord. You're probably not going to use much in Gates of Discord, but with Gates of Discord comes things like out of combat regen, berserkers, and then you have the previous stuff, which you have cats and beast lords. You have the bazaar, which is going to be amazing at the start, being able to use the bazaar and use POK library, get all your spells, use mounts, and then, like I said, the out of combat regen means when you are out of combat, which is 30 seconds on a group mob and 5 minutes on a raid mob, then you start regenning at a very accelerated rate. It's like either 3 or 4% a tick. So that's going to be a lot of fun having all those in right at the start. And you're level capped at 40. XP is going to be pretty fast because you have the Gates of Discord XP bonus that you already have on a server like Mischief. So you only have to get level 40. XP is going to be fast. You're going to have mounts. You're going to be able to buy all your spells in POK. It's going to be a lot of fun. So this is the rewards. You're supposed to be able to, like, if you kill Kazakh Thul at level 40, which I don't know how fun that would be, but if you do, you get an item that grants low stat food at a click. Yeah, it's pretty boring. I think the rewards are pretty boring, but I also don't think I was ever going to do these. Like, so you have Kazakh Duel, which I think they messed up on. I think this Kazakh Duel is going to be 2.0 Velius version with Mighty buff, which is going to be pretty hard. Even the regular version at 40 would be ridiculously hard, but he wouldn't have Mighty buff, so sure. But after that, let's say that this is the normal version and he doesn't have Mighty buff. I'm sure they could kill him if they throw enough people at him, charm pets and regular pets, and but this anything after that, I just don't. I mean, level 50 doing Jelinek, even without thinking about what my friend told me is that you're not gonna have Call the Hero, so your guild's gonna have to all be factioned, or you're gonna have to clear the whole way. Which, uh, I mean, I guess faction would be quicker, maybe. I don't know. I have no idea. That sounds miserable though. But if you manage to do that with your guild of level 50s, you get a teleport to Western Wastes and Scars of Elias expansion. Um, let's see, Gates of Discord. Let's see, Crag-based Queen at 55. I mean, is it doable? I don't know. I'm not sure. But maybe with some of these changes that I'll get to at the bottom, maybe. I don't know the rest of these. I heard the example they used was never was not going to happen. I think it was Meldrith's mansion. Meldrith. Apparently, that was an example they used, and people were like, "There's no way you're doing that at 70." But I don't know how these changes are gonna. I'll go through these changes because these changes. I'm not excited about the rewards because, like I said, I didn't plan on doing these things anyways. I'm excited about the rest of the server. So I'll go through here. XP rate, same as normal, but Gates of Discord's open, so you have that bonus. What are the level requirements for gear? So basically, instead of required level items, so if an item is level 60 required, they're going to change those to recommended levels, which is good. It would have been nice if they maybe just took both of them off completely, because if you're level 40 and you get a required 55 or 60 item, now you'll be able to wear it, but it's going to be a lot of reduced stats. And they did lower 10 levels for activating spells on items, which are clickies. So the Kunark clickies, that are usually I think either 46 or 45, will be 10 levels lower. Um, if you happen to be able to get your epic, I don't know which epics you could even do. I think you could do the cleric epic low level, but I don't know how many people. I don't know how many people are going to be doing it at level 40. I mean, 50, you'll see a lot of people doing epics. 40, 40 is going to be tough to do any of the epics. I mean, I think I really I don't know which ones are doable. I think cleric might be doable at 35. The rest have, I think, higher level. I think monk is somewhere around 40, 46 or 45. Maybe they're lower, but I never bothered to get them on lower level tunes because, you can't even click a lot of the epics until, 50-ish. So, but if you happen to get your hands on one, you can click them 10 levels lower. Let's see, zone requirements, 10 levels. I don't know why they use the example. For example, a zone with a level 42 minimum requirement will have a level 32 minimum requirement instead. I mean, I don't know what zone has a level 32 requirement and why they felt that was the example to use, but that's, so Planet 8, you could zone in at 36. That'll be nice. Mitigation of the Mighty is in effect, but since GOD is going to be out at the start, there'll be no Mighty buff on classic mobs. Obviously, I think, like we talked about, the Kazakh Thule probably will be Velius version, so I think he's going to have it. And I think maybe like Innerark, I don't know the whole Innerark revamp, how that works, but I'm pretty sure he's revamped by now. So another great key part about this server, will spells be able to land on anything if we're 10 levels behind? So that was a concern. They said they would change some of the resist, but they didn't go into too much detail. So they clarify here that they're using a new spell resist system, and it basically excludes level differences for resist. So I assume what that means is that it just makes everything an even con to you. So I don't know if that means blue cons will be the same as even cons, or if it just works the one way where the harder mobs, the hardest thing you can do is basically be fighting an even. That's probably what it is. But that'll be really great, especially in combination with the next part, stuns, mez, charms, and other level limited spells. So they're raising the cap on crowd control spells by 10 levels. So charm, not dire charm, but fade, fear, fling, gravitate, mesmerization, spin stuns, and regular stuns. So this means enchanters are going to be really fun, or also druids, bards, necros, even shamans can charm some animals. But let's see. So what this means is, so at level 11 you get charm on your enchanter. Goes up to level 25, but you'd never charm something that high normally. But with this, not only could you do it, but you might. I mean, I've been looking, and not only can you do level 25, but it looks like you're going to be able to charm level 35. Like it might hurt. It might hurt when charm breaks, but I'm sure people will find a way to get around that, fighting in certain spots where you can snare the pet and run it around when it breaks, stuff like that. But this is just gonna be so much fun. The first thing I thought of was, like normal servers where you get specs and giants trained to the docks or something. And I'm just imagining level 11 channers just sitting there going, "Oh yeah, don't worry about it. I'll take care of this." Like that's gonna be so fun if it's done right. I mean, as long as the resists are correct and it's like charming and even con, I think it's gonna be hilarious and it's gonna be a lot of fun. So let's finish up the rest of these. There isn't much more. Adjustments to quest levels. No, basically no. So if your epic was level 46 to obtain anyways, that doesn't get lowered. But they did lower tasks and missions to get them. I think this mostly is later on. This might this might come into play with like Agent of Changes for Planes of Powers or Plane of Hate. Maybe that also got relaxed, but I think this is mostly for doing tasks and way later expansions. So that's cool that I thought of that. Oh, oh yes, this is great. So server with the amount of loot dropping. Basically, it sounds like it's just double loot, but I don't know if it's going to be the same as Mischief's double loot. Mischief had, double, I mean, quote unquote double loot, but it was only named like rare spawns and raid bosses. And this is worded a little differently, so I'm not sure if that's on purpose. Um, that would be cool if non-rare spawns drop double loot. There's not a, I mean, there's a lot of mobs that are still not tagged rare, so that would be cool. Epic. I think a lot of epic mobs are not tagged rare. That would be kind of cool if they dropped double loot also. Keying and flagging, yes. Still have to flag, but I don't know how many zones you're gonna key for early. Like Vician's Peak, you're not gonna key for. Um, Vexthal. I mean, I wouldn't key for Vexthal. I don't. It sounds like a big pain in the butt. Let's see. But if you do Vexthal, if you do it early enough, they did make it faster for keying. They made the shards drop off random mobs in the zone that they drop in, and they accelerated it for the first couple of months. That'll mostly come into play on their normal progression server, Jelinek. So, alright, so Glooming Deep tutorial. They say it'll be open. That'll be cool if it is. I hope it's accessible at the start. You never know with how they script things that, at in the first FAQ that they came out with, they said if multiple expansions come out on the same day, they'll stagger them 1 hour apart. So I don't know what that means for the start. If GOD is going to be out from the beginning, does that count? Are we going to have to wait 4 hours for tutorial to open, or will that 4 hours have already happened, or do they not even need to wait for that? I mean, I'm hoping they understand it's kind of a big deal to have the tutorial open on launch. Like, it wouldn't do any good if, I mean, it'd still be good if it was open 4 hours later, but obviously it would be quite annoying if the first people on couldn't go to the tutorial and only the people that joined later could, because you actually get some pretty good armor, all the visible armor in the tutorial that'll last you for almost the entire way up to 40. I think I think some of it you might even wear at 40. I mean, you eventually want to replace it all, but it's pretty good gear. So like I said, yeah, hopefully that's actually in like minute one. So will the perks, so they've came out with perks recently. They're gonna let you use them on this server, which was expected. One of them is you don't lose a level when you die type of thing, when you die to a monster and stuff. Sacrifice, obviously, they exclude from working on that. But so you can have a perk for that. Out of combat regen we talked about, which is great. This is going to be fun. This means you don't really need mana regen as much. I mean, you can just sit out of combat You know, solo classes. This will be a lot of fun for buffing. Yeah, this is gonna be. I mean, shamans not having to freaking canny all their mana up all the time. So, and then the last clarification, changes to alternate abilities. Nope. People were kind of hoping that maybe you could get AAs at lower levels or something, but that is not going to be the case. So that is the Vaniki server. And like I said at the start, I don't know how long the server is going to be popular, but I think it's going to be worth checking out. I think, let's see, these 4 weeks at level 40 will be a lot of fun. And then I think being 50 is going to be fun. A lot of people are going to be doing epics and stuff. 55, I think, will still be fun. I think once the Prophecy of Row opens up, there's going to be a lot of extra content, a lot of tough content, uh, and I don't know, it might slow down after that. And also, the Yellowneck server that'll be coming out at the same day, they'll have 2 months of Classic, 2 months of Kunark. So I think, my plan is to couple of months, a few months over on Vaniki, and then make my way over to the Yellowneck server for, a little bit of Kunark and Velius and beyond. A little typical TLP. But like I said, I'm very excited about Vaniki, and hopefully the rewards part doesn't stop people from playing. I mean, I understand a lot of the high-end people were, maybe only gonna play for these, but hopefully that's not a big deal. Hopefully, people still play, and maybe, who knows, maybe they change these later on. Maybe the first one they, will have to take a hit on because there's not enough time for them to change it or think about it, but they got time to do the others. If they're as bad as people think, I'm sure they'll make some changes to that. But anyways, so that's the Vaniki server. Hope to see you guys there, and hope to be, doing some really fun things with Charm for sure. All right, catch y'all later.